Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. The R-Rated Podcast. This week's guest is...
Welcome back to the R-Rated Podcast. Today's guest is Alyha Torres, and we met on the show Fatal Attraction. Yep. I know I've been mentioning Fatal Attraction kind of a lot just because, well, it's been taking over my life for the last 5 months. So
I can relate.
You get it. You get it. So I wanted to bring Alyha on and talk about something cool that I feel like maybe gets missed a lot in the industry, or you don't even realize how big of a part this role is. Mm-hmm. Transportation.
Transpo. Oh
Transpo.
gosh.
Okay, when I see you, I think actress.
What? Oh.
And I think it's
kind.
No, seriously, because I feel like most let's describe what Transpo usually
right
looks like, or what the vibe is. Usually it's I don't know, guys in their 30s.
Manly men.
They're me, my bros.
Men in general.
Men, yes. Think of all the guys that drive vans or trucks, or when you're on the freeway, you don't really see Alyha. But that's why I love it, and that's why I wanted to bring her on, because we're fucking breaking barriers over here.
Seriously, I feel like I've been breaking them my whole life, to be honest.
Please, let's hear it. First of all, where are you from? Just so we can get a little
I'm from the Valley.
The Valley?
Born and raised.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. And how do you like it?
I love it.
Have things changed a lot? Or
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. Well, first of all, I would like to say I don't think I'm ever going to move out of the Valley.
Oh,
I'm one of those.
A diehard Valley?
Yes.
I love it. I was going to say Valley girl, but I don't know if you want. I don't know.
People call me that all the time. Valley girl. I'll take it.
But when I think of a Valley girl, I think of
Airhead?
Yeah. Maybe that's a bad stereotype. Maybe
no, I mean, it is what it is. I don't mind being
You're I could be that. I'm just kidding.
Could be that. Why not?
So, okay, you're from the Valley. Have you always had an interest in the film industry, or is this a newer thing?
I have. Okay.
Okay.
Well, when I first started college, my major, I went in for psychology.
Okay.
I went majoring for psychology. Yes, I thought that's what I wanted to do, but I took one elective class, because they make you take all these elective classes that you're like, why am I taking this?
Literally, why am I taking this?
Took one elective class, and it was a music and film class. Not even just the film class. It was music in film class, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I want to go into film.
You're I'm in the wrong major.
Yeah, I'm switching right now. Literally, right after this, I'm switching, and I did.
Wow.
And ever since then.
And what did you study in school?
It was, the major was cinema and television arts. And then I went into the TV production branch.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
But I wanted to get into the film branch, but that was a whole other monster within itself.
Yeah.
You have to make this portfolio, and I was like, you know what?
I'm
TV
PTSD
production.
For when I had to do
Yes! Oh, no, thank you. I was like, let me take the easy way out real quick.
The easier, but then it's still a ton of work that people don't talk about it.
It is, exactly. It really is.
So after you graduated, what did you do? What was your next step?
I was so scared when I was in my senior year in college, because I remember at least 2 professors of ours were like, you know what, we're going to be honest with you guys. Half of you guys are not going to go into what you're studying.
Okay, dream killers.
And I was like,
you're not going to make it. You're not going to make it. You might make it.
Pretty much.
You're not going to make it.
Pretty much. And I was like, I think that's going to be me.
No.
I think I'm going to be one of those people that just don't do what they studied.
No.
Because I just knew at that point that you can only really be in the industry if you know someone.
Right.
And I had no family, really no friends. It's all about who you know.
It really is.
You hear it all the time. It's all about
you
who you know.
But you I feel like I was low-key in denial about it until I saw it happening in front of my eyes.
Yes.
I was like, oh no, I'm sure of course here and there some people will refer their friend or whatever.
Yep.
But it really is no, if you know someone, that's all you need. You don't need to have all this experience.
Nope.
You don't need to go to film school. You don't need to have a bachelor's degree.
I say it all the time.
I'm like, why the fuck did I spend so much money?
Yep.
On school.
100%. I say that all the friggin' time.
Yeah.
And I was getting really scared, because I was like, I cannot believe I just spent this whole time studying this, and I'm not even going to do it. I was like, I refuse to be one of those people. I just don't know how the heck I'm going to get there.
Right.
And one of our professors actually held this panel at CBS Radford. I remember CBS Radford of people in the industry and we had to sign up to go and listen to them talk. And then he said that after everyone finished talking, that we could go up to them and kind of like network with them. Exactly. But I was like, I don't know if these people are really going to want to give me their info. Like, what if they're going to be like,
what if?
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Scared.
But there was this one lady that I was like, oh my gosh, she does some cool ass crap in the industry. I don't know if I could.
No, you can totally swear.
Okay, I love
it.
Cool ass shit.
This is the R-rated podcast,
right?
So you can say whatever the fuck you want.
Love it. I cuss like a sailor.
Okay, great.
And
it'll make it more fun, honestly.
She was talking about she was in VFX.
Okay. Cool.
And I was like, what the heck's VFX?
Yeah.
It's visual effects. And she did Marvel films. And I was like, cool. I'm sorry, that's who I need to talk to. Like, but at the same time, I didn't know it was mainly post-production. And at that point, I already knew I did not want to do post-production. I was like, I need to be on set where they're filming the actual film.
I want to see it go down in front of my eyes. I don't want to sit in front of a laptop and like edit it or a computer screen.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I just like missed the part where she said it was like post-production. I was a little ignorant about VFX at that point. But I was like, I want to do that.
Right.
So when I got her info, I don't know how I thought it was going to work out, but I would literally, she liked me so much though. She liked me so much. She gave me her number.
Oh, that's amazing.
I was like, who gives out their number?
What are you doing?
Exactly.
Thank you.
Exactly.
But I appreciate it.
Yeah. And then I asked, well, can I get your email as well? Because I knew I wasn't going to call her. There's just no way. So I would just, ever since that day, I would just email her like every 2 to 3 months, and I would be like, "Hey, do you have anything? You know, any positions that
and she
that are available?" She would. She was very kind. I owe that lady. You know what? There's a list of people that I owe credit to.
Yes.
For where I am today in my career. And she's number one, top of my list.
I love that.
Because had she not gotten me in, I would not.
And it literally takes just one person.
It really does.
And you never know when you're going to meet that person.
Exactly.
Like there's been times where I'm like, oh, this is going to be the opportunity. Like this person's going to maybe give me this opportunity.
They're the one.
And then it's not at all. And there'll be someone like totally random that I was like happen to just talk to.
Exactly.
Like, and I'm just like,
happens like that almost every time.
It's so weird how like that goes down sometimes.
It does. Yeah.
And were you still thinking about doing I know you were saying like I want to be on set, but like what were you thinking about doing on set? Like cuz I know you were like into the visual effects, but that's post.
Right, exactly.
So what would you want to do on set?
I had it in my head from the beginning that I wanted to be in camera.
Wow.
Yeah. Reach for the stars here because
I'm shocked. Not shocked because I was the same way. I thought I wanted to be camera too, but then you realize like, and you're like, actually, I don't want
to be camera. What? I think it takes like a very exactly to be in camera, and I quickly realized, oh crap, that's not what I want to do. Forget that,
Yeah, you live and you learn.
Exactly. So when she finally got me in, it was a VFX PA position. I was stuck in an office, 12 hours a day, kind of going a little crazy, inside those four walls. And by that time, I had already worked in office positions, so I was like, oh my god, like this is not gonna be. But as long as I'm in the industry, I just wanted to get my foot in the door, just.
Yeah.
How to get
a toe in there, like
anything in there. I was like, Jesus, I'll take it from there. Just give me the opportunity.
Yeah.
And he did. So I got in. I got in 2 years after I graduated.
Wow. Okay. So how did that feel? Like, did you feel like, okay, I'm on the right path? Like it took the right amount of time, or did you feel discouraged? Like, oh my God, it's taking 2 years. Like it's taking too long. Because I feel like nobody tells you like after you graduate, like, like this is where you should be at. Like it's kind of like just go to college and figure it out.
Yeah.
And you're just
sink or swim. All right. Well,
literally.
Go out there. Thanks. No, I was really discouraged.
Yeah, me too.
I was very discouraged that it took me 2 years after I graduated.
Yeah.
Also, what was discouraging is that some of my classmates already had jobs in the industry. Not necessarily on set.
Okay.
But they were in the industry.
Stuff.
Yes. And I was like, what is
And it's
happening?
hard to not compare yourself to that. Or
very hard.
And you don't want to you shouldn't be competing with your friends, especially if they're like in the industry, because it's like everybody should just be like rooting for each other, especially if you really are true friends. Like it's not a competition.
Exactly.
But it's hard to also not get discouraged when you see everyone around you, doing well or getting things that you wanted to get, and you're just like, what am I doing wrong?
Yeah.
Or like, what am I missing?
Yeah. And mind you, I wasn't just emailing her.
Yeah.
After I graduated, I was cold calling.
You're like, I followed her home.
Literally,
I'm just kidding.
I could have. I literally was cold calling companies.
Yeah.
I literally went on Google and just searched whatever.
Yeah.
And then I interned. I worked for free. I did whatever I could. It's not like I wasn't trying, you know? So I was like, oh my gosh. So when you're actually trying and nothing's happening, I think that's what even more discouraging.
Because it's different if you're like, well, I didn't really do anything, so I can't be mad that like nothing's coming my way. Like nobody's gonna knock and be like, hey, do you want to be in a movie?
It's not gonna fall out of the sky.
I mean, that'd be fucking awesome if it did.
Which you'd be surprised how many people are like, oh, it just landed on my lap, you know? Oh
yes. Which low key, I'm like, okay,
that's
just
never
working my ass off.
Me.
It's fine.
Yeah,
but you know what? It feels more deserved.
Yes,
because you worked for it, you earned it. Like it doesn't feel like somebody handed it to you on Silver Train. I feel like that is such a satisfying feeling.
Yeah,
I'm not saying that it like who wouldn't like something handed to them? Of course. Like you'd be lying if you said like, oh no, I wouldn't like that. Like yes, you would. You just haven't had the opportunity.
Exactly.
Like speaking from experience.
Yeah,
but I also feel like it feels very good. And
you
like,
become, I think, just a little more grateful.
Yes, exactly. And more humble too. You're like, you know what? Like
I came from the bottom.
Starting from the bottom, now we're here.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So you're doing these gigs after 2 years.
Yeah.
And how did you get to Fatal? Like, how did that happen?
Literally, I love hearing people's stories because everyone's is so different.
Literally.
It's so different.
That's literally what I talk about on the podcast.
Nobody has the same way to get there. No. There's
even
no
if
way.
we're on the same set, you had a totally different
experience.
Oh
yeah, you could come.
She was dealing with like all things transportation, driving like cast, driving crew, like making sure Basecamp was getting set up for like the next day. Well, I'm like more focusing on like, making sure no one's getting COVID on set, making sure people are testing, staying in cadence, making sure that like the actors are always like safe. Like it's just like such different things we're worrying about,
worlds,
but we're working on the same production.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
Yes,
and when I started working in the industry, post-production, I was like, oh my gosh, how do I get on set?
Yeah.
Because all my contacts are now in post-production. How do I
how do you get to set?
How do I get on that other side? Because it's literally on the other side.
Literally on the other
side. Not that like
you're not next to each other.
You're
like,
at all.
Post is somewhere like, you know, maybe in like a basement post-production area. And
exactly.
It could be like anywhere all over LA.
So when I was working in post-production, I met the Marvel security team. And I have to say that I met them because it's a very important part of the story.
Oh, okay.
I met the Marvel security team.
Yeah.
And I knew that they worked on set. They're kind of, their job was kind of hybrid. They were like half in the office and then half on set.
Okay.
So I was like, maybe that's my way to like
get in,
get on
like
set.
This. You're thinking of like, not like I don't want to say shortcuts. But
you're
thinking of like
workarounds.
Yes. Like,
how do I? Yeah.
Literally, that's exactly what I'm doing too. Yeah. I'm like, that's literally how I ended up in the COVID department. I'm like, how do I like get in without
myself like
slaving away and feeling like, wow, like I'm not getting to where I need to get it.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So like, I get what you're doing. I like it. I'm like,
you know, brainstorming in the back of my mind, like, what do I do?
Yeah.
So I met them. That's very important. I jump on to the next show. And the cool thing about it was that they hired me to start with them in pre-production.
Okay.
And just throughout the entire process. So pre-production, principal photography, post-production.
Awesome.
But I was already dreading going into post-production because I was like, I just know that that's not what I want to do anymore. Like, give it a shot. Not for me. So what I did was I said yes to that gig.
Yeah.
I hopped on. I was there for pre-production. I was in the office. When principal photography came around, I was like, okay, I need to do something. I need to get my behind on that set.
Yeah. ASAP.
Yeah. So when they were hiring the set PAs, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to talk to them. I need to befriend them and see how they got to be on set.
Yeah.
So I befriended one in particular. And he was trying to do the exact opposite. He was trying to get in the office.
You're like, let's switch.
Let's
Freaky Friday this bitch right now.
That's literally what we said. I was like, let's switch. We were both yes.
What are the odds? That is so perfect.
Yeah.
What are the odds that? Because I feel like usually when you meet people on set, everyone's like fighting for their spot.
Yeah. No, he wanted to be in the office. I was like, please let me take.
So you were able to switch?
We were able to switch.
That is lucky and amazing.
Yeah.
That is, God was on your side again.
Seriously, I'm telling you, little things that happen here and there, it's like, you know, you're meant to be where you are right now.
Yeah, it's because you waited your time too. Like, you weren't like, you know, eager to like take steps that weren't necessarily meant for you just because you felt like, oh, I'm like behind, or like somebody else got this, so I should be doing this, you know?
Exactly.
Like, everything will come to you.
So they let us switch.
Wow.
So I was now on set. He was now in the office.
Yeah.
And again, I saw Marvel Security doing their thing on set. And I was like, hey guys, remember me? You know, I was in the office. Now I'm on set. Hi.
What was Marvel like? Like, I know you can't talk much about Marvel. I mean, the NDAs that you signed there, it's like, I'm like, they will find us.
Yeah. Let me not say anything.
No. But like, what is a Marvel set like compared to a regular set?
Oh gosh.
Like, is it bougie? I'm like, tell us. Some of us haven't been in the Marvel circle.
Feel like certain things like crafty is better. But you know what? That might just be like a feature thing. Because the only features I've ever worked on are Marvel features. So I can't compare them to a regular feature. I don't know. It might
Are you
just
allowed
be
to
the same.
say like what it was?
What it was? Yes. Yeah. So I worked on Thor 3, which is Ragnarok.
Tell me, is Chris Hemsworth as hot as he looks in the movie?
Actually, you know what? I was in post-production, but he did come into the office one time. He did.
Like, there's a God in our presence right now.
Literally was doing my work, and I was
aside.
like, that voice sounds familiar. Who the hell is that?
Thor, is that you?
There he was, just sitting there.
It would be so hard not to be starstruck by him. Just be like, even like, you know, you see celebrities on set, like when you're working, but like, there's just a few, you're just like,
yep.
Hi.
Yeah, exactly. He was one of them.
That's so cool.
Yes.
But was it mostly green screen? Like, were you guys in a studio a lot, or was it like locations a lot?
Since I was in post production for that one, I didn't really get to. Because they filmed, I think, most of that film in Australia. Would have been nice to go. I know. I have yet to get paid.
To
travel. To go. Like,
I thought they didn't.
No!
I was like, what?
No. That's like,
I was like shocked.
I have yet to get paid to travel.
I know. That's like the next goal, hopefully. Like, I would love to work a shoot that's like maybe out of state or overseas or something. I don't know what, but it'd just be cool to like experience it.
Just to say, hey, they're literally pay me to go like wherever. Yeah. Like, that's great. I feel like I would love already
out, but
absolutely love that.
I don't know, actually. Wow. Okay. That's really cool.
Yeah.
And then was it easy to get more set gigs after that? Because you're like surrounding yourself with, you know.
Yeah. So I made my little contacts there. I was keeping in touch with security.
Okay.
And
what did you have to do for security? I mean, obviously, like, you have to make sure no crazy person comes on set.
That too.
But like, was there anything ever like scary you had to deal with or something?
Not scary for me. I'm sure for people that have been doing it longer, maybe.
Right, have like crazy stories, yeah.
But it's honest, it's mainly just content protection. We're just making sure stuff doesn't leak. People aren't doing what they're not supposed to. Pictures are not being taken. No one's being recorded.
So no phones on set.
There are certain departments or people in departments that can have them. And those people have been pre-approved or whatever. But background, like extras, no one can have.
So, like, how do you get rid of the phones, or like, how does that work?
We have little pouches.
Oh, those like locked bags.
Yes.
Okay.
So they hand us their phone. We put it in a little pouch.
And that shit locks.
Here
like,
you go.
You cannot get your phone out. Like, if you think like, I'm gonna be sneaky and
that's
like
not that's not happening.
I went to Jamie Foxx's birthday party when I like pre-COVID. When I I was like, oh my god, I'm like, this is so cool.
Wow.
And I was like, I can't wait to document this. Yeah. And then we literally get in line and they're like, put your phone away.
Are you
like,
kidding?
Put the phone in the thing and it like locks. And like, you cannot get your phone out. I was like,
you won't. That won't happen.
So you know what though? It was one of those moments where it's like, live in the moment. Like, enjoy the party. Yeah. Like, when the fuck are you ever gonna party with Jamie Foxx? Just enjoy the moment.
Exactly.
And honestly, it was really nice actually to experience like that. But at first I was like, this is bullshit. I want my phone.
Yeah. I mean, that's the first thing people think, like, well, this is my lifeline. What do you
literally.
mean?
What if it's an emergency?
Yeah. But I've never had to deal with anything like too bad. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
But
so mostly just phones, like really just making
phones, mainly phones.
Wow. Yeah. Okay.
That's
actually a really cool gig though. Yeah. Just to, like, I feel like it could be worse, right?
It could be.
Like, what if you're chasing down like
exactly? Yeah, we won't do that.
Yeah. You're like, no.
It's mainly phones. Phones are the issue nowadays.
Phones are the issue.
But yeah, so I kept in contact with them. And then that's how I got my gig on WandaVision. And WandaVision is very important.
You were on WandaVision?
Yes,
that
WandaVision
so
is
cool.
very important because that's where I met the girl that actually got me my first, like, I won't say full-time set gig.
Yeah.
Because I was still day playing, but I was like what they call like a permanent day player. You're there like pretty often. They call you all the time.
Yeah, literally.
So that's where I met that girl and another person that I have to credit for on that list. She's on that list. And she got me the gig on Terminalist.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So that was my first like actual set gig.
Were you nervous? Like, what was that like?
I was very nervous because I'm like, what if I suck? Like, what
I feel
if
like that's always the worry, right? Like, what if I'm not doing my job right?
Exactly. Yeah. But I'm like, you know what? I think you're fine if you do exactly what you're told to do.
Yeah. Pretty much just stick to the rules.
Just
like,
be quiet and do what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
I think you'll be fine.
Yeah.
And don't be lazy.
And fake it till you make it.
Yeah. That's very important.
Always.
Actually. Very important.
Always.
Fake it till you make it. Is
literally.
Yeah. Act like you know what you're doing.
Even if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah. A month into it, like people were asking me, like, what we call them are green PAs. The people that are just starting off. People that, you know, we call them, she's green. Or, he's green.
Oh, I didn't know that was the lingo.
That's the word. That's the word.
Shit.
If they call you green, it's not a good thing because they think that you're new.
Oh, fuck.
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. What about, like, if you're more seasoned? Like, is there, like, tiers to this? Like, oh, she's a YOLO.
No,
like, she's red.
Wish there was, but
she on
no.
fire.
No, it's just you're green if you're new, and that's it.
Wow. Oh,
but yeah.
Because I heard that on set once, and I had no idea what that meant. I was like,
trust me.
Is she in charge of the greens? Like,
yeah.
Because there's a department for that, too. Like, plants and, like, flowers and, like, garden
greens
stuff.
department.
Greens.
Correct.
So I was like, greens.
Yeah.
No.
That's also a thing. Like when you're first starting off, you have to catch on to the lingo quick.
Very
you're
quick.
Like, what does that mean? And you don't want to be that person that's always asking, like,
what does that mean?
Yeah. Like, you just want to catch on quick because there's so many words. You better look that shit up on Google real quick. Yes. There are so many words that they're just going to throw out and you're like, what?
Yes.
I remember there was this one time, the key PA, he was like, can you go lock it up over here? But don't worry, just on the day. And I was like, what? First of all, lock it up. Yeah. What am I locking up? Where is this lock? First of all. Second of all, on the day, I thought we were filming this today. Like, things like that, you're just like, what?
You're like, please speak English.
About? Like, but you have to catch on to those things quickly.
Yes, you do.
And that's the show that I did it on.
Right.
That's the show that I was like, I'm going to.
For people who don't know, what does lock it up?
Locking it up. So when you're locking it up as a PA, you're making sure that either no one's coming into the shot or no cars, depending on the shot, depending on, you know, whatever the key PA tells you. Yeah. Let's say it's supposed to be a scene from the 1980s. You know, sometimes you have to make sure that traffic is not really our thing because usually we have cops for that.
Right.
But we do sort of kind of help
you still kind of have
there.
to deal with it. Yeah. Like when we were shooting in Pasadena, like I feel like you guys were definitely dealing with that.
Right. That was the worst.
Like you just hear over the walk, lock it up. Why is it not locked up?
Yes.
You're like, because we're shooting in an active neighborhood and people like want to walk their dogs. And that's why.
Exactly. And legally we can't really tell people not to be walking.
You can't walk on your own street.
You know, we can't, but we try our best. You know, we tell you, can you wait? If they can't, which there have been people that are like,
fuck off.
Fuck this.
They'll like honk when they're driving by. They're like, try to get that. Like, try to get that out of the shot.
Exactly. There are people like that. I mean, a lot of people don't like, you know, the movie industry. We just.
Yeah. I mean, think about like, okay, like they've probably had to deal with this shit a long time. Your house, like, your neighborhood, your house, whatever. I mean, don't rent your house if you're going to be mad about like people filming there. Like, just don't do it, you know? But I get, like, if you don't want anyone filming on your street and you're like, your neighbors or someone's keep renting it out.
Take it up with the neighbors.
Yeah, you're
Take it
you're
up with your neighbors.
Over.
Okay, your neighbors said, okay,
talk
to them. How about you all petition
literally
for us not to film here anymore then?
It's not my fault.
And we won't. And we won't.
Exactly. So lock it up means lock up the street. Don't let anybody walk by or interrupt the scene or
anything
create noise or whatever.
Mess up the shot. Yeah.
What was like the not scariest, but like the most like annoying part of like PAing for you? Like, do you feel like it was like having to like lock it up, or is it just like constantly having to tell people to shut up? Because like, you know, it's just like I don't know, is it little things or like what is it?
I think it is little things. And you know what sucks? You know what really sucks? That sometimes the people that would give you the most grief are not even pedestrians or people outside. Sometimes it's your own crew. Yes. And it sucks.
Yes.
It really
sorry, I just
sucks.
had a PTSD moment.
Yes.
Like for me, it was like the masks. Yeah. Like I got the most, well, obviously, like, I'm not going to tell, I did tell someone, we shot at a hotel once, and I was like, ma'am, can you put on your mask? And she's like, I'm a hotel guest. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
I'm so used to telling people to wear a mask. But, yeah, like, sometimes the crew would just really give me pushback.
Yeah.
Some crew would just be like, oh, sorry, like, I forgot. And it was like, no, like, don't worry. Like, you were, genuine about it. But some people are literally just like want to get into it and, like, argue with you. And I'm just like, all I said was, like, just please put your mask on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like,
and then, like, it's hard not to, like, let it, like, affect your day because you're like, damn, this person, like, hates me. And I just, like,
especially,
why?
Yes.
You know?
And there have been so many times where I'm like, am I cut out for the industry?
Yeah. You have to have tough skin.
I'm very sensitive. I'm sorry, but I'm going to cry. I'm not going to cry in front of you. I'm going to go to the bathroom.
Yeah. Do it with grace.
Yes.
I love it.
And there were so many times where I'm like, oh my gosh, maybe I'm just not cut out for the industry because it's just like,
no, you just gotta realize, don't take it personal.
Yeah,
because like that's what happened in the beginning too. Like with the COVID stuff, I was like, they hate me.
Yes,
I was like, I just told her to put on a mask, and she yelled at me. And then I was like, you know what? Like I actually had heard from someone else, they're like, hey, like certain crew members are literally like scarred and have trauma from like certain COVID departments being like hella like obnoxious and being like sending producers home, sending home DPs because they had that like power to do so back like when COVID was really bad. But I was like, I'm not someone like that to like abuse my power. Like, oh, you're not going to listen to me, then I'm going to send you home. It's like, let's work through this. Like, I'm just trying to do my job. You do your job. Let's not step on each other's toes.
Exactly.
But I think once I heard that, like, other departments just have been scarred from like how COVID people used to treat them. I'm like, okay, maybe like they have trauma and like,
but I feel like it's vice versa. Like, let's all see
you're
each
giving
other's
me trauma.
Let's all see each other because exactly, they can cause you trauma too.
Like I'm just like, damn, like today could have been a good day, but this person kind of ruined it by like arguing or like fight or like saying that like my time's limited. You know what I mean? It's like that. Like I get it. Like the COVID time is limited, but like you don't have to
don't say
it to me like
that's
that.
just a jerk thing to say.
And your tone of voice is everything too. Like like the way how you're saying things. You know, like if you're like, oh, that's cute, or if you're like, oh, that's so cute. Like there's ways to say things.
But while she was getting yelled at for that, for doing her job, I was getting yelled at for doing my job, telling them to be quiet.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys realize that I'm not doing this for fun?
Right. It's not like you're not like, hey, can you shut the fuck up?
Yes.
Like, I don't want you to talk. It's like, no, they're literally shooting like right behind you.
Exactly, you guys. I'm literally telling you to shut the hell up because they're yelling in my ear because we have walkies.
Right.
Literally yelling in my ear. We hear talking. Who's next to that person? Like, Alyha, you're right next to the grips. Why aren't you telling them to shut up? Bro. Can you shut up? I would have to tell people.
And then they like roll their eyes at you. They're like,
yes.
You're being so rude.
I would literally have to tell people sometimes like they're yelling at me right now as I tell you this for you to be quiet because they can hear you. I hated that. Yes. I hated that. Not only that, it's just like the constant yelling.
It's just awkward.
Yes. That and then the constant yelling from your bosses, which everyone gets it because in the industry, it's like, who the hell's not stressed out? Who the hell's not yelling?
But I feel like Ks get it more because they're getting the stress from like the ADs and like, actually all
everyone else.
Yeah, everyone. It's not just the ADs. It's not just the producer. It's not just the director. Like everyone's always calling for the PAs
everywhere. Everyone.
Like
literally.
That's why I was always very intimidated to PA a big set like that because I'm like, I don't know if I can handle that shit because like I don't know, like
the thing is
the way you talk to me really affects me. And I feel like I don't want to blow my chances and ruin my opportunities because someone talks to me in a disrespectful way as a PA. Because I would straight up be like, what makes you think you could talk to me like that? But I couldn't say that. I'm a PA, right? They'd be like, who the fuck are you?
Yeah,
and I'm just
exactly.
like, I don't know.
And there are people that do, I mean, we're going to be honest.
Yes.
There are people that do look down on us because we're just PAs.
Right, which is bullshit.
Yeah, because they love to assume that you're green, that you just started. Some of us have been PAing. Listen, I PA'd in total with my post-production gigs and everything 6 years.
Wow.
How are you going to look at me and be like, you're so new. Like, you don't know anything. Like, you don't know what you're doing. Like,
and everybody's workflow is so different. And like, you have 6 years of experience, but you can go on a set and they can do things like so different. And like, you have to adapt to that.
True.
Like, how are they going to act like, oh, you don't know what you're doing?
Exactly.
You know what I mean? It's just like really rude too, because I feel like I don't know, like if it was just like this recent set, but I feel like shit spreads like high school, like wildfire. And I'm just like, what is this? Like, stress.
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes it can feel like high school. You're like, oh my gosh, I really even had drama in high school. How do I have drama like now in my career? Like, really? That's just the worst place to have drama. At work. Especially when you're there like 90% of your life.
Yes.
Because
we work longer hours than like an average job. So it's not like, 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. You know, we just have to deal with these people. Like, no, you're dealing with these people anywhere from like 65 to 85 hours a week.
Yes, you are.
You know.
You are. You're there. That is your life.
That is your life. And that's why like your friends on set can age from the like literally the age range is like 20 to like 60.
Yes.
Because like everyone, like,
you're cool with like the 60-year-old, you know, in the grip department, or the 50-year-old, the crafty.
Literally everybody.
Because you're seeing each other's faces every day.
And you're all like someone's giving you snacks every day. She's driving you every day. I'm making sure you're getting tested every day. Like we're all just like a big unit. Like,
we all like come together to like put this
movie, this
project together.
Yes, to bring entertainment.
Yes, I used to look at the credits sometimes, like when I wasn't in the industry just yet, and I was like, "Who are all these people? Like,
what are they doing? We don't see you on screen.
This is too many people for like,
especially the Marvel movies. There's the credits are like 30 minutes. You're just like,
what? All these people that have come together to just make this project happen. Like, I don't think somebody's job is more important than somebody else's.
Right.
Everyone is
important. Everyone brings something to the table. And I talk about this on the podcast too, like the whole hierarchy thing. It's so stupid. Yeah. It's so like, I don't know. Like, I just feel like that's something that will probably get fixed, or we'll work on that next. Yeah. You know? Because,
exactly.
Like, it's just so weird. It's like, we really do treat certain people on set like royalty. Like royalty. And then it's like, but the people that like do just as much work or like come early to set up or stay late to clean up, like don't forget about those people, because like you wouldn't be able to do this without them. Exactly. And, like, that's why I bring every department, I try to bring on at least one person, because it's so crucial for people to understand, like, it's not just the actor, it's not just the director, it's not just the producer. No. Like, there's so much going into it.
So much.
And like that's why I want to bring up Transpo too. Like, why did you pivot into that? You know, like you said you wanted to be on set and all that. So like what were the factors?
So on this show, I was just having the toughest time. Yeah. Like continuing to PA. I was like, for a couple of years now, I'm like, okay, I need to transition. I need
You've been wanting to transition.
Yes. Yeah. I need to get into a union. So every department
I know, me too.
Yes. Every department has their own union, right?
Right. Which is not like, I didn't even know that, honestly. Not until I really started. I was like, oh shit. Yeah. They all have a union.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. And not all departments, like VFX doesn't have a union. Obviously, PAs don't have a union. COVID
doesn't have a union. We're just out here.
Right. But I'm like, I think maybe not for everyone, but I think the main goal for a lot of people in the industry when they start out is to get into a union. Why? Because you get paid well. The benefits are great.
They take care of you.
They take really good care of you if you're in the union.
And like the rates are so different.
Night and day.
Yes. Like it doesn't even compare.
No. So the goal for a lot of people is to get into a union. So that's always been my goal. I've always told my family, like, I know I have a career and I know I'm a little broke.
You guys,
there, though. I am trying to get into a union, and people outside of the industry don't understand like, how hard it is.
Yeah, they're just like, just do it. And you're like,
I can't. It doesn't really work like
It doesn't.
Unless you have like legit family in whatever union. Or really good friends in whatever union.
Which is not the case for us.
That have the power to bring you in. Right. It's very hard to get in. Unless you have those connections. Very, very hard. Like, so difficult. Like,
it really is.
Took me freaking 6 years. Like, it just, that's how it is. Yeah. That's how it is. Yeah. And so I told myself, you know, when I started this show, I was like, I have to do something. Not that I haven't been doing something about it in the past.
Did you hit like a breaking point, or like were you just like did something like you don't have to, if you don't want to share it, you don't have to, but like did something maybe happen, or did like what was that roadblock for you where you're just like, I'm done with this?
I took on, so like many shows, sometimes PAs leave, not even just PAs, like people from departments leave, so they seek replacements,
of course.
And for this show in particular, I remember 2 people left, and I had taken over their jobs. And one of those jobs I had never done before. And I was like, you know what? This is going to be a new challenge for me. This is going to be
Right.
great. This
Yeah.
is going to be, I was
Right.
very nervous going into
Right.
it
Right.
because I knew I had told
Right.
myself in the past, I was like, wow, I don't think I could ever do that job.
Yeah.
But when you're a day player, sometimes you get a little desperate
Yeah.
because you're like,
Yeah.
I'm broke.
And you just
and
got,
I
yeah,
need
you got to pay your
money.
fucking bills.
Yeah. And if they're saying this is a staffed position, you're kind of like more
Okay.
inclined to
Yeah,
take
yeah,
it, you
yeah.
know, because you're like, oh, I have rent to pay, you know. So I took it knowing that I wasn't going to like it.
Right.
But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to judge it.
Mhm.
I'm going to take on this challenge
Mhm.
and I'm going to try to be a little more positive than I usually am, which I like to call myself realistic, but a lot of people see it as pessimism. So maybe it is pessimism. But I was like, you know what? I'm going to be positive. I'm going to take on this challenge.
Yes.
Sure enough, I took it and it was the job from hell. Yeah.
Were they just asking for a lot of things?
It was just with that particular position, you're pulled
in every direction,
in every single, and it's just you. It's just you, and you are part of a team, but PAs like sometimes are designated to certain things.
Oh yeah, okay,
and that's your responsibility.
Right,
that's just you.
Mm-hmm.
So when I took that on, I was just getting pulled every which way, and that's when I was like, "Oh my gosh, I think I'm too sensitive for the industry.
Yeah.
Like it's too."
Well, it's like all these people yelling at you, telling you to do this. It's like, why is this not getting done?
Yeah,
and it's like when the higher ups have like a vision or a time frame, they want it in that. Like they want it in that.
Has to happen now.
Yeah,
has
like
to.
If they're like, get me or like do grab this for the scene. It's like you should already be walking, getting that. Like don't stand there and process it.
Exactly.
They want you to like be
go now,
which is a lot. Like I mean, like I get like everyone's like eager to get in the industry and you want people who are hardworking and but like there's a difference between that and then like kind of abusing that and I feel like we do see that on sets a lot, especially with PAs. Like everyone knows the PAs literally get the shit end of the stick with certain things. It's just like unfortunately that's what it is. And how do we change that, honestly?
Exactly. I don't know if we can.
I don't know. At least,
but yeah, I was going home every night, almost in tears.
Oh no!
Almost every night.
Sad.
Almost every night.
I'm sorry about that.
I kid you not.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my gosh, something has to be done. I literally need to put a plan of action. I just don't know exactly what it is,
and it has to happen immediately because you still got bills to pay. You can't just like take a break and just like wait and see. Like it's scary because like it's you almost feel like you're freelancing.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
You're like if I don't find something right
yes,
now, like,
you are. Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks. But there was this one guy actually. He was like, "Why don't you just try to get into Crafty, which is craft service?
Yes,
people with the snacks.
Yes, which
Snack
I
truck.
recently found out they make $45 an hour starting.
Yeah.
I was like, I'll make fucking sandwiches.
Why the hell not?
I literally was like, if I need to pivot from COVID to something else, and if I can't get into the directing steps soon enough, I'm like, I'll do Crafty. Like, I don't care.
Why not?
I'm like, I'll make some mean ass snacks. Like,
here's the thing. A guy once told me, he was like, it's so funny because we never had like conversations like this, but like one of the conversations one of the very first that this guy and I had, he literally said, why don't you just do the thing that makes you money in the meantime, save up so that you could do something that you love. And I had never thought about it that way. I was like, wow. You are wise beyond your years, my friend. Because I had never thought about it.
That is literally what I'm doing right now.
Do what you gotta do to make the money.
Like, I'll get shit on for being in the COVID department, but I'm gonna rack up my money.
Exactly.
And then I'm gonna fucking direct all the stuff that I want to direct.
Exactly. He's like, make your money and then go ahead and do something that you want.
Yes, that's great advice. That really is.
So once I saw it that way, this person that brought up the fact that I should try to get into Crafty, I was like, but Crafty. But then I thought about what this guy had said, and I'm like, you know what? If it's gonna make me money, which they get paid well again because they're in a union,
right?
I was like, I guess why not? So I started talking to the Crafty people, and I was like, how do I get in? Like, how do I go about this? And usually the generic response that I've gotten on other shows is like, we'll call the union. You know,
which kind of means like figure it out yourself. I'm not trying to help you.
Yeah, and that doesn't necessarily work unless you're like hounding the union.
Yeah, you're like, give me answers.
Like, like where are we at? Like, because they have a list of people that are trying to get jobs, and then that list has to shrink down, and then you can get in as a permit. It's a whole thing. Right. But the guy was like, oh, you know what? You should try to get an orientation with them. Go to that orientation, and then let me know afterwards, how it goes.
Hell yeah. Okay.
So I'm like, oh, wow, like he's actually trying to help me.
Yeah.
And then the same guy.
And did you feel like he was trying to help you without wanting something sexual from you?
Yes.
Sorry, I have to throw it out there because, she's a pretty girl, and we're in the industry, and like this shit happens all the time.
That stuff does happen, believe it or not. But no, this guy's really nice.
Just a genuine.
I was like, oh, you want to help me?
I love that.
So, that's what I did. But in the meantime, I had scheduled my orientation, and it was like 2 weeks from that day, or 3 weeks from that day, something like that. And in the meantime, I was like, man, like I need to move. Like if I'm not like constantly working towards getting into a union, like I get like anxious. I already have an anxiety problem.
Yeah, me too.
So I'm like waiting these 3 weeks without doing anything is like giving me anxiety.
Yeah.
So that same guy, gosh, I have to thank this guy too.
Is he on the list?
He's added to the list now. He's added to the list now. He's like,
thank you guys. Thank you.
Exactly. I really do have to. But you have to give credit where credit is due.
You really do.
You really do.
Remember where you came from.
Yes. And so the same guy was like, what about, have you ever thought about Transpo? And I was like, Transpo?
Yeah, that's okay. What was your reaction? Like,
my initial reaction was like,
joking?
what?
Yeah.
What is Transpo? Because you think Transpo, you think tough, manly men.
Right.
They're driving these vans and these trucks and moving stuff around.
Literally.
And I was
like, parallel park that shit?
Yeah.
Like, I know, thank you.
Yeah, exactly. And I'll tell you, actually, I'm a very good parallel parker. So I knew that I was not going to have a problem there.
I got this.
Yeah. But he brought that up. I was like,
yeah.
So I don't know about Transpo. But I thought about it and I sat on it and I slept on it. And I was like, you know what? The more I get my name out there, the better. Somebody has to.
And you can try it. And if you didn't like it, just
exactly.
You're not forced to continue.
Exactly. Yeah. You don't have to. It's not once you're in there, you're stuck.
Can't get out.
Like,
you're trapped.
It's not. So it's like I just have to
go for it. Take the risk.
So I'm here to make money. I'm here to help my mother. I'm here to achieve my goals.
I love that.
Definitely financially. So it's like, I'm not going to let that stop me.
Yes.
Like,
you're not going to let some guy staring at you ruin that.
No.
Get in the way of your bread, your career, and, taking care of mom. Like, hell no.
Exactly. And I guess I've always been like that because like I said, I was talking to myself earlier and I was like, oh my gosh, well, I feel like I've always had this in me. Like, I just don't care if it's male dominated.
Yes.
Like,
I love that.
I'm going to do what I want to do. Yes. That looks fun. I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to be there. I don't care. Yeah.
Yes. That is such a good way to end the podcast episode too. Very inspirational.
Yes. Very woman empowerment.
Yes, we gotta be women like empowerment. Yeah, we gotta talk about it because it's important. Yep. And this industry definitely needs more of it, but I think we're slowly getting there. So that's awesome. Well, I am so excited to see what happens in the future for you. I know you're gonna get into the union. It's just a matter of days, literally.
It literally is.
Literally. And then I hope we work on another project together too.
We will.
Maybe I won't be doing the COVID stuff. Maybe I'll do something else, but I'm cool with that. Like, I'm excited.
Get your money and get your dreams.
Exactly. Save that money. Let's make our dreams happen, not catch some dreams.
Let's catch them. Let's catch them and trap them.
Yes. I love it. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.